Team, quick one. Thinking about a word called perspective today. So I thought about who have I worked with or for who is the best at keeping their emotions under control and creating conscious control in the way that they led other humans. And I went back to a maintenance manager that I worked for, and let's call him John. Maybe that's because that's what his name was. And I want to unpack for you a conversation that I had with this particular human one day. So I was at superintendent level running a primary smelter and an acid plant where everything was sort of breaking at the time, and I'd get worked up when something would break. I'd get worried because we had to fix it, and some of the breakages or some of the failures were major and they took forever to actually repair. And so I'd get worked up and I'd lose my emotional control, and our manager, John, never saw him get flustered. And one day I had to ask, I said, mate, talk me through it. What is going on? Why don't you get emotional? Why don't you get excited? Why don't you get worried, anxious, nervous, experience the nerves that the rest of us go through? And he told me a story about being on a aircraft carrier that was bombed, literally, and that he was in the Navy, and obviously an opposing Navy was trying to take all of their lives. And it was in wartime. And he said he has been in a situation that was life and death. And he says, you know what? When we have issues in the plant, or if we have issues with equipment, he said, I don't get too flustered about that. He said, I have a perspective on life. I went, whoa. And obviously it's an experience I don't have. So I get where he's coming from, and I can see in him how it just shows up as this calmness. And I think for all of us, so for me, my perspective comes from nearly being dead at work, so being blown up in a switchboard. So I have a different perspective on life, and he has a different perspective on his emotional control and what he should get excited and emotional about. So the message, team, is put things in perspective, especially when you're leading, especially when you're out there and you feel like the world's about to come to an end. Maybe it's not. The key word for today, Tuesday, the 1st of February 2022, put things in perspective.